Hello everyone and welcome to English with Harris. This is Harris. Today we are going to learn English by listening to stories. Stories are one of the most powerful ways to learn a new language. They help you learn new words in context. They show you how grammar works naturally, and they make learning fun. When you listen to a story, you don't just learn words, you experience them. You imagine people, places, and actions. This makes the language stay in your mind for a long time. In today's lesson, I will share 5 short stories with you. Each story will teach you new words, and we will practice speaking together. So relax, listen carefully, and repeat after me when I ask you to. Our first story is called The Lost Phone. Sarah was walking home from work. She was tired and hungry. She had been working all day at the office, typing on her computer, attending meetings and answering phone calls. All she wanted was to go home, eat dinner, and rest. The sky was turning orange as the sun began to set. Birds were flying back to their nests. Suddenly, Sarah heard a strange sound. Ping. Ping. It was a notification sound. She stopped walking and looked around. Then she looked down and saw something on the ground. It was a phone, a smartphone. It was ringing. The screen said, "Mom calling." Sarah picked up the phone and said, "Hello?" A man's voice replied quickly, "Oh, thank you for answering. That's my phone. I lost it. Can we meet?" "I think I dropped it near the park." Sarah smiled and said, "Sure. I'll wait for you by the fountain." She walked to the park and stood near the big fountain in the center. The water splashed gently, and children were playing nearby. Some people were jogging, and others were sitting on benches. A few minutes later, a tall man in a blue jacket came running towards her. "That's mine," he said, breathing heavily. "Thank you so much." Sarah handed him the phone. The man thanked her and offered to buy her a coffee as a way to show his gratitude. Sarah thought for a moment and said, "Why not?" They walked to a nearby cafe, had coffee together and started talking. They discovered they both loved reading books and hiking. From that day on, they became good friends and often met for coffee after work. Now let's learn some useful words from this story. Strange, something you do not understand, something unusual. For example, this food tastes strange. Say it with me. Strange. Ground, the surface of the earth, the floor outside. For example, my keys fell on the ground. Say it with me. Ground at fountain. A structure with water, usually in parks. For example, the kids played near the fountain. Say it with me. Fountain, breathing heavily. When you breathe fast after running or exercise. For example, he was breathing heavily after the race. Say it with me. Breathing heavily. Why not? Away. To say okay in a friendly way. For example, should we go for ice cream? Why not? Say it with me. Why not? Repeat these words after me again. Strange. Ground. Fountain. Breathing heavily. Why not? Excellent. Now try to make your own sentences with these words. Our second story is called The Cat in the Cafe. Liam loved cats, but he didn't have one. His apartment building didn't allow pets, and that made him a little sad. One rainy afternoon, he was walking in the city with his umbrella. The streets were shiny with rain, and people were hurrying to stay dry. He noticed a sign that said, "Paws and coffee." Curious, he opened the door and stepped inside. It was warm and cozy inside. There were cats everywhere, sleeping on chairs, playing with toys, and sitting on people's laps. The cafe smelled of fresh coffee and warm pastries. Soft jazz music was playing in the background. A little grey cat jumped onto Liam's table and looked at him with big green eyes. "Hello there," Liam said, smiling. The cat purred loudly, a soft, happy sound. The waitress walked over and laughed. "That's Luna. She likes you." Liam stroked Luna's fur. She was soft and warm, and she rubbed her head against his hand. He ordered a cup of hot chocolate, and Luna stayed with him the whole time. She even tried to dip her nose into his cup. When he left, he said, "I'll come back tomorrow, Luna," and he did. Soon the cafe became his favorite place, and Luna became his little furry friend. Now let's learn some useful words from this story. Rainy, when it is raining outside. For example, it's a rainy day, take an umbrella. Say it with me. Rainy. Lap. The area between your waist and knees when you sit. For example, the baby is sitting on her mother's lap. Say it with me. Lap, purr. The soft sound cats make when they are happy. For example, the cat purred when I stroked it. Say it with me. Purr, stroke. To gently touch or move your hand over. Something. For example, he stroked the dog's head. Say it with me. Stroke, hot chocolate, a warm drink made with milk and cocoa. For example, I love drinking hot chocolate in winter. Say it with me. Hot chocolate. Now let's practice with some sentences. Repeat after me. I like rainy days. My cat sleeps on my lap. The cat purred loudly. He stroked the dog gently. I drank hot chocolate this morning. Excellent. Our third story is called The Little Mistake. Emma was a student learning English, just like you. She practiced every day, but sometimes she got nervous speaking. One day she went to a bakery to buy bread. She walked in, smiled at the baker and said, "Can I have a beard, please?" The baker looked confused. "A beard?" Emma repeated. "Yes, one beard, please." The baker laughed. "Do you mean bread?" Emma turned red and started laughing too. "Oh, bread, not beard!" They both laughed, and the baker gave her a loaf of bread for free because she made him smile. The moral of the story is, it's okay to make mistakes when learning a new language. People usually understand and appreciate your effort. Let's learn some words from this story. Bakery. A place where bread, cakes, and pastries are made and sold. For example, I bought a cake from the bakery. Say it with me. Bakery. Confused. Not sure what is happening. For example, I was confused by the question. Say it with me. Confused. Loaf. A whole piece of bread before it is sliced. For example, I bought a loaf of bread. Say it with me. Loaf. Moral. The lesson we learn from a story. For example, the moral of the story is to be kind. Say it with me. Moral. Mistake. Something you do wrong. For example, I made a mistake in my homework. Say it with me. Mistake. Now repeat these sentences. I love fresh bread from the bakery. I was confused by his answer. I bought a loaf of bread today. The moral of the story is to never give up. I made a mistake, but I learned from it. Great job. Our fourth story is called The Helpful Stranger. Oliver was traveling to another city for the first time. He had a big suitcase and a map in his hand. At the train station, he looked around, but he could not find the right platform. He felt nervous. A woman noticed him and asked, "Are you okay? Do you need help?" Oliver said. "Yes, I'm trying to find platform 7. The woman smiled. "Follow me, I'm going there too." They walked together, and on the way they talked about the city, food, and places to visit. Oliver thanked her many times. When they reached the platform, Oliver said, "You are very kind." The woman replied, "No problem. When you help someone, you make the world a better place." Now some useful words. Suitcase. A bag for carrying clothes when you travel. Platform. The area in a train station where you wait for the train. Nervous. Feeling worried or afraid. Kind. Friendly and helpful. Repeat after me. Suitcase, platform, nervous, kind. Our fifth story is called The Surprise Party. Sophie's birthday was coming, but she thought no one remembered. She felt a little sad. On the evening of her birthday, she came home, tired. When she opened the door, her friends shouted, "Surprise!" The room was full of balloons, music, and cake. Sophie's eyes filled with tears of joy. She said, "Thank you, everyone. This is the best birthday ever." Useful words. Balloon. A colorful rubber. Bag filled with air. Surprise. Something unexpected. Joy. A feeling of great happiness. Repeat after me. Balloon. Surprise. Joy.